John Proxy. Welcome to the Proximity. I'm having a Disco Elysium adventure. Before I'd start on this loading screen, I like these screens, even if this one is not the most exciting one in the world. But, we just had a moment. We just had a moment there. Oh, yes, we've got to look at this book, don't we? We inspected this phasmid. We should check up on the deserter again. Didn't we just gain an item? I swear we did. Yes. This Claget report. Passport, even. The Orania Rijik. This is a well-travelled passport. Visa stamped in it. Issued by the Republic of Orania. Found it on the phasmid's nest on the island. You can open it for more details. Orania's passport. Passport is issued by the Sovereign Republic of Orania. It is issued to the black-haired woman called Katazarine Alassier. Collage is hidden documents. Lieutenant looks at it in your hands from the empty buoy. Look at the photo. It is Claget, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow. An old photo before life came and did what it does. What's it doing in the phasmid's nest? Maybe our man, Mr. Drost, took it from Claget's, or whatever her name was, hiding place or... Phasmid took it. They sensed it to it, so I saw something open up the buoy with spindly legs. Point to your head. Like a magpie. He looks around. What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected other objects, which would be highly unusual. By now the lieutenant has accepted your unusual methods. It says Katazine Alage. He opens his note. He said it would be for Nuke Major Smith. Nuke Major Smith. Katazine Alassage was supposed to be her real name, where Claget comes from, remember? Oh, damn it. I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now, in another city. Maybe this is her real passport, not a fake, because this is her real name. No, she lied to us. Her so-called real name was not her real name. Somehow she managed to lie to us about that too. He almost smiles. What was her real name then? I don't know, but it's not Katazine Alagier or Claget or Nanook Major Smith. We didn't even scratch the surface with her, detective. He looks east. Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what hell she'd be raising in my district by now. The winds are silent. The streets are empty of her. She's no longer in the city of Revachol. The passport away. Okay. I think I failed that. Oh, hang on. There we go.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
He looks around confused. Something is very wrong with him now. Sir, how could you not see the phasmid? See? He stares at the reeds and falls silent. Mr. Drost? The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, his gap-toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing. Wave your hand in front of his eyes. A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing. Hands are trembling and he breathes slowly. He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The lieutenant inspects him gently. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Drost? The trembling mouth appears to sigh. Between this and the broken tyre he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid. What has happened to this man? We found something... So, I was actually thinking off screen that I was remarkably silly and polite to somebody who's just this kind of horrible murderer man. He may have had really good reasons at first, right? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that his army is just, right? The one that he deserted? It's reasonable to assume. At least he thought it was. But, like, the sort of revelation that he did it because of Claget kind of makes him a terrible person. And he murdered a person, but he murdered somebody who was much worse than him. And yes, it's all kind of shades of grey, isn't it? I just wanted to sort of acknowledge that, because as he was doing it, he was going, "No, I'm not going to be a communist," and like, no, you're actually dealing with an ill, unhinged person right now. Like, we found something in the phasmid nest, Mr. Dross. He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should. Show him the Orangier's passport. No reaction. His breathing is slow, and he appeared very old all of a sudden, around 80. Did you take this passport and other papers from the buoy on the coast? He blinks and continues to stare at the reeds. The spirit. He hears us. The spirit. No reply. He's gone again. Try something else. We got him back for a moment. I'm going to let you rest now, Mr. Dross. Plastic cape flaps around his face. In a gust of wind, his back is slouched and his mouth open. What happened to this man? Old age and shock. He looks at him. I think it's the phasmid. Yes, the arrest and appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. He looks at you. But you think it's something more than that, don't you? There's much more. Remember what it said, what it spoke. Could it be there's something hormonal in his relationship to the phasmid? You mean pheromonal? He seemed a little off for a man of his age, Randy. The scope, knowing of her bruises, his disposition towards Miss Oranger. He nods. I see what you mean. He couldn't see it to him. It's just the reeds for him. That part could be a part of the shock, but you're right. Something is off here. Mr. Dross touches the man's shoulder. No response. Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years. Then how did we see it? He thinks. Oh, you mean whatever does this does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks. Sightings are brief and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it, yes, you forget it's there. Lieutenant inspects the man. Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds? Duh. The old man stutters. The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse. I talked to the phasmid. It said it was destroying him. You should be more careful, Detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you? Maybe. Anyway, it's only trying to remain unseen. The degradation is a side effect. A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching unknown species in the future, Detective. He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it is in its company. He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe. He looks at his notebook. I'd already forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. He shakes his head in disbelief. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo. No one would believe you without it. Hang tight. We should think about getting back to the mainland to get help. It'll be safe here if we don't take too long. I worry about that. The return. And this is why we slept before and not afterwards. Run across, shall we? Oh, Kim, where are you going? The real Disco Elysium was the jacket we found along the way. I'm not sure what I was trying to accomplish with that phrase there, but at the very least amused myself. I don't think we're coming back to this island. Let's return to the mainland. We're done here, he says, adjusting his glasses as he looks over the water. The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But the sound of conversation on the water. There's someone inland waiting for you. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought in.
Jean Vicmer, says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly his expression changes. He tilts his head.
Fallen AC? What's with all the performance gear? Are you back in high school?
Yeah, he acknowledges it. Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man in sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses? No one else seems bothered by my foul gear.
Quiet, Harry. You're a goddamn cop. They're afraid of you.
Yes, I am a goddamn cop.
Are you? Are you still a cop? There's so much disco going on. It's hard to tell.
Vic, calm down.
Wait, you're the man with the sunglasses.
And you're bleeding.
Forget about all this, there's a giant...
Forgetting about anything. Look at you.
He points at you with both hands. Who are you people?
I'm Trent Heidelstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
Thanks, Tran.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Mar, and this is your special task force, or what's left of it.
Ah, these are the people who came with him. Yeah. Sorry, I just knocked my tea.
Special consultant Trent Heidelstein, patrol officer Judith Minot.
We brought Trent with us and didn't even notice.
We have come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kimki Soragi, Precinct 57. We've just come from the island where our investigation led us.
The scene is making him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
I need your help with something later.
Suddenly regaining his confidence. As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
Clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
She says warmly, flashing Kim the tiniest of smiles. Letting Lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you. What's this about, Yvonne?
I want to help you. Trant, I believe this is where you come in.
I love that everything's... like, obviously everything's connected, right? But, like, I love that Trant just didn't exist for no reason. Because, like, it was really weird. I didn't even consider it. Like, this wasn't me going, oh, yeah, I noticed something was off. No, like, retrospectively, he only had one scene. Everyone else had a dot, right? All the racists were connected in a way to, like, to essentially to this plot. Because they lead to the stick insect, right? Like, think of any character and they've got a connection, but Trant doesn't. The only other person... well, there's a couple of government people who clearly, you know, it's kind of easy to see where they come in. But anyway.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
Mixed air quotes.
Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
Shit kid, what an interesting moniker. So, Trent Heidelstein turns out to be Special Consultant Trent Heidelstein. Yes, I'm Trent Heidelstein. I never said I wasn't Trent Heidelstein. Wait, what was up with the kid then? Mikhail? Mikhail's my son. Oh yeah. What was up with all that interesting history? Spying on me? No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead, and Mikhail wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence. Him being there with his son is not a coincidence. It's difficult to see, but he is worried about you and also interested in the Feld building. So what are you special consulting here? What indeed? He looks at the dilapidated shacks. Then you. I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He's smart. Let's move on. I'm going to do this French accent, and it's a terrible idea.
What's a shit kid? I'm not doing his accent, my throat will hate me.
You, shit kid, that's you.
Despite all that you've done, the deserter, the phasmid, the case... Despite all that I've done?
No, because of all that you've done.
How did you know I was here?
The cafeteria manager fucked us over.
Who? What? The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you were. Damn you, cafeteria manager! No, let's do the funny one. You betrayed me for the last time!
Speaking of which, a giant aerograffitio in front of the building, the one that's burning. Did you do that?
Yeah, I lit it on fire. It was a poetic gesture.
I knew it. Didn't I tell you, Trant? I told you it was our shit kid.
The line about Lou Jutan's Rover 82, isn't it? About a girl-child communism? The titular returning character. The ghostly apparition of... He looks around and notices the impatience of his companions. Stops himself. Good choice, Harry. His voice has changed. I've already forgotten what he sounds like. He is correct. It was Saray's poet Lou Jutan in the 50s, the last century composer.
Don't encourage him, Trant.
Okay. You're not the man in sunglasses at all. You're not even blonde.
Guilty as charged. Exchanges a look with his special consultant. I heard you lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. That's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
I can't do the French for very long. French. He was too sarcastic for you to realise who he was. Maybe if you hadn't been so sarcastic, I would have realised it was you.
I'm clinically depressed, Harry. Sorry if I wasn't in the mood to butter you up after you told us to fuck off.
Okay. I had that coming.
Had what coming? Not recognising people you work with every day? He squints. Brain damage.
You never told me you're not the horse-faced woman, pointed her. Lieutenant, she says with a heavy sigh. My name is not Horse-Faced Woman. It's Judith Minot. Or Minot? I think it actually is Minot. No, because it's French. Minot. They said it earlier, damn it. I was assigned to your unit 2 months ago. I thought we were friends. We're still friends. I just have a stupid head. Okay, another sigh. Because you're my commanding officer, I really want to respect you. I want us to have a normal relationship. Aww.
That will never happen. That will never happen, Jude. He's the rudest man on earth. He is the reason why the rest of us have to take sensitivity training. And I hate sensitivity training.
Duped again. No one's who they say they are.
Duped. Hey, there's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
Okay, I probably should... It's funny being dramatic, but... okay. But let's not... We know that Kim is on our side. Okay, that does have something to do with it, yes. No, everyone's just brilliant masters of disguises. So you mentioned a task force. Yeah, Major Crimes Unit. Under Lieutenant Dubois and Vic Mayer. Ring any bells? Refresh my memory. Who else is in this? Refresh your memory. It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Trant fucking Heddlestein, and Guillaume Bevy. He stares at you. I'm technically just a civilian advisor. Fuck you, you're part of the shit show. Okay, first, who's Guillaume Bevy?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. He's not smiling. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here, and Trant, because I'm forcing him to stay. Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde and partial to sunglasses? No, he's the... Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde with sunglasses like you were? See there, he wags his finger at you. He's getting it. I was impersonating him. Look at me. I'm G. Bevy. It was gonna be funny. But then you really did have brain damage. So not so much anymore. Hang on, so like he was pretending to be the other guy because he thought that... Okay, sorry, yeah. Let me read that again. See there, he wags his finger at you. He's getting it. I was impersonating him. Look at me, I'm G. Bevy. It was going to be funny. That's why he was in disguise. He was taking the piss. But then you really did have brain damage, so not so much anymore. He sincerely thought it was going to be amusing for both of you. Ah, that's really sad. Because, like, that, yeah, that's quite sad. Okay, so what does the unit do? It's a major crimes unit. We clear the desks of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We're shit tier now, Harry, because of you. 41st isn't... He trails off, not wishing to finish the sentence. No, his is technically the worst. Where have you been all this time? Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember. He crosses his arms. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. You're Detective God. Fuck everything. All will burn. Detect or die. So this... What's really good about the writing in this game is that it will lean into what I'm doing, but it's not doing it on purpose. It's sort of just clever enough to... Well, No, hang on. Let me put it a different way, right? There's this game called Zero Escape. The second one. It's like an anime murder mystery weird game. It's a puzzle game, but there's a story in it. Anyway, the point is, you play out a path, and then you have to load your game and play out a different path. And you make a choice. You change the path by changing the voice to yes or no, let's say. I'm looking at my face rather than the camera. I don't know why I'm doing that. And when you change your answer, somebody else changes their answer, and that doesn't make any sense. And your character out loud says, wait, how did you know to change your answer? And they go, what? And out loud, while I was playing it, I said that at the same time, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. And I found out later, no, he says that both times. It's just the first time, I didn't think anything of it. It's only when I had the correct context that that line made sense. Now, this is not the same. What this has done is it said, and I alluded to this before, right? All of these personality things are just things he's forgotten, right? All of them... I'll keep the one. All of them are true to a certain extent. He's thought all of these. He's just going to remember them. Right? To a different degree. Various different degrees, right? And so, like... But if you make a build... Like... Just certain story stuff hits really well. Because I feel like I've made those decisions. And so this is kind of one of the first times that I didn't do Superstar Cop. Like, I did a little bit of it. I did occasionally say that, but you can see it's not even a choice I have. Like, it's one of these, Superstar Cop. So he's like going, oh, fuck you, Superstar Cop. And I've forgotten the Superstar Cop thing. Anyway. Fuck everything, all will burn, detect or die. I said all those things? I'm not like that anymore. Yes, you're sorry. You're the sorriest cop who ever lived. Nothing has changed, Harry. I've heard this repentance shit a million times over. Yeah, so we've always been sorry, cop. None of this is ringing any bells. Move on. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, turns to the blonde. This is where you come in. How bad is it? Well, he doesn't have visible tremors. He talks without slurring. He can drive a boat. He's standing, reasoning, all good signs,
but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic, meaning you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, isola, pale, and so on. Of course I did, yeah. As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him and... I don't want to be a snitch, he makes air quotes, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It was very interesting. 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 Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, he turns to you. What do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socially, economically? Wait, socio-economically? You think I'm so poor I lost my memory? It might have something to do with an anomaly in the church. 2mm hole in the world. Corresponding to the 20cm hole in your brain. Sure, this theory has great symmetry. I see how it folds into itself neatly. Precisely, Satellite Officer Vic Mayer. It's Martinez. Take this seriously. I suspect there might be something wrong with Martinez. This sounds odd, but I was there. The churches on the coast were shaking from audio-spatial anomaly. It may have been enchopanotic, or perhaps related to radio waves. Either way, it was real. I even put it in my report. You should read it. I do not, however, think it has anything to do with him drinking himself to the point of deep brain damage. Thank you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Just to clarify, I do not think isolary enchopanotics are a hoax. Pale produces global phenomena. It's proven, however. What has not been proven is total memory loss after drinking too much Commodore Red. Honestly, I think he's just lying to us. But Detective Vic Mayer, she interjects, he has blanked out before. I have? Yes, a couple of times. After some more serious benders, she pauses, remembering. One was after the two drinks case. The other was when we looked into that mural. So you don't remember not remembering? Beautiful. The two cases in your ledger. The unsolvable case and the Next World mural. Those were recent. Those cases were hard on you. Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it. Prepared. And that's when he would have gotten his idea. Yes, practice. And so he used the alcohol to get there, so to speak. What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, here is my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. He gestures towards the scenery. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. I live here for 40 years as a police detective, and he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape. To borrow a known metaphor, Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market, he said. He nods confidently. He just needed it for it to end. Okay, Chad, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in Major Crimes Unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that. He is not a cretin, and he's able to do the work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective. Line detective is good for now. For now? He looks at you. Then at Trant. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put clothes on and use the potty, or do we need to get him on a disability pension? What now? Proceed. Now nothing. Now we're just gonna stand here. Really? No. Now we discuss that. He points to the water. What the fuck did you do to our motor carriage? Why is it there? I drove it into the ocean when I was drunk. So refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty.
Thank you for destroying a 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of everyone's payslip. Doesn't matter. He exhales it to calm his breathing. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge. I've got my badge right here. Show it to him. In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic. The badge slips out of your hand. Hand-eye coordination. I'm proficient at catching small objects. Not today, badge. Behold, my badge. The man is unimpressed by the piece of plastic in your hand. And your gun, he asks, as if having your gun and badge are natural states, not achievements. What is with all these material objects? My gun is right here. Show him the Villiers 9mm. Whoa, he has it, and he didn't drop it. He wipes his brow in mock relief. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone. I'm not drunk. I haven't started drinking again. So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse, then? He's wounded. He looks at you. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse. Yeah, it's been a bit of a week. I'm sorry I smell bad. A bit of a week, he squints. You're drunk, and you let a suspect escape? Certain Clagier, because you were too drunk to assess her flight risk. We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuragi's. We know. Okay, I got duped there. She pulled one on me. Duped again. Not for a moment do I believe you quit drinking. He rubs his face in frustration. I'm not even going to get into another suspect who also escaped. A Ruby something. Or the fact you're Everard Clare's little peon now. Doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 7 people who were gunned down. The streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was a fucking mass murder. He did everything he could. Lieutenant interrupts him. We did everything we could. The company hired unvetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals. He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what could have been. I also solved the case. It's solved. All of it. Detective, it's better if I do that, he says in a lower voice. It's so much better if he does it. 1,000,000 times better. Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. He brushes a stray hair out of his eye and coughs. You spent the week with him on this case. What is your take? On the case? On Lieutenant Yefrator Dubois. What's really cool about this is that this obviously changes depending on how well you've done. And I would have loved to have seen this scene with Kuno. I still can. I've saved it. Well, he pulls up his collar. The drinking... Sorry, my tea's going to be cold. The drinking, gun-toting, and also losing the badge, that's all true? It's fucking cold. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week. See? 1 week. Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologise profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least first-degree murder. It's not a good communication strategy for an officer. It's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois, as you may know, is a Mazovian social economist. He wants to liquidate the ruling class, which, again, for a police officer, is a little odd. You should yell something. That is not a good idea. Yes, let the big boys talk. Oh, fuck you, rhetoric. Odder still,
He also has an ultra-liberal hustler who always... What? He's also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always, Lieutenant pinches the root of his nose, on the grind. How he reconciles these 2 points of view, I do not know, but he is vocal about both of them. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. He breathes in sharply, but despite all this, he's a great detective, one of the best I've seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except for the one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which, by the way, I have to disagree with you, Mr. Vic Mayor, was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out. Oh, I fucking love you, Kim. What a wonderful partner. Much better than Vic Mayor. Okay, he did something. Which, you know, we've been horrible for like 20 years, probably, so, like... Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked the case and solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the Revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. He pauses. Oh, and he discovered a new species. A new species? A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Enceladian phasmid. He takes out the photo and shows it to the officers across the yard. Rain comes down. He covers the glossy photo with the phasmid with his hand. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind. As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may have been the largest land invertebrate ever discovered. Boom shakalaka, motherfuckers! Oh, come on. I want to say that I'm a giant communist. Fine, I'll say nothing. Fucking hell, is that the man... Cranes his neck, still looking at the photo. Is this somehow connected to the case? Detective, he turns to you. I believe the pheromones it emits may be responsible for the killer's mental degradation. The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence, exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia. He fell into a stupor after his appearance and became near catatonic. So it is connected. I must say, this points to the photo. It's absolutely extraordinary. It's... Even I don't have words for it. Yes, he really does make it hard to finish, fired or drunk. His tired eyes follow the photo as the lieutenant puts it away. This is very, very sad man who's just seen something that made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never. Yeah, maybe I don't want to tell him about the drug lab. The previous head of the Debaudois Union was assassinated by our killer. Lieutenant lowers his voice just a little. This is a conversation when we are no longer out in the open in Martinez, where Everard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere. And eyes, too, you returned from the island, must not have gone unnoticed. Understood, of course. The consultant, too, has lowered his voice. I prefer not to partake in anything union-related for political neutrality. This has to be the good stuff for him to backpedal out of it, the first mention. Oh, I want to save my game, and I can't. I can't save my game. So it looks like we were supposed to go for all of them. I confiscated drugs from Kuno's dad. Who's Kuno? You don't want to know. You're right, Lieutenant. I don't. He turns to you. You snorted the drugs. I know you did. It's all right. I mean, at this point, anything is but the drink. There's also the dead man I found on the boardwalk. A missing person I found. Ah, yes, fallen through a gap in the boardwalk, drunk. So, how did you know I found him? The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Trilbuck and Mullins take care of the funeral arrangements and family stuff. You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us. Still, she says quietly, good work with the missing person detective. Also, the phasmid was female, the reeds are its nest. Female? What makes you think so? You had to see it. It was subdued colours of a female, and the nesting behaviour too, I think. Incredible! Were there eggs in the nest? Not as far as we could see. There were other things there too. He turns to you. It's an interesting time. Forget about the rest. I had gathered items in its nest. Behold, a passport. Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers, therefore attracting mates. Bowers are built by males of the species who can't afford colourful mating displays physically. This one was plain-coloured. It could have been male, actually. It must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs. He trails off, lost in thought. It could maybe roll it, like a dung beetle? I think it emits a chemical that makes it look even more like the reeds. Yes, that would be a ceremony. A pheromone that, seemingly beneficial to the host, it usually stimulates an affected nervous system. Not a human's, of course, but perhaps a predator's? Nothing is off the table. I want to stress this. This find does not have to be connected to the case. The case is 100% prosecutable without any pheromones. Of course, Lieutenant, of course. We should treat the case and the phasmid as completely separate from each other. People are... Sorry, this is Jean, of course. People are not going to... They're not going to go for this speculation in the constabulatory. I think it reduces by parthenogenesis. Isn't cloning itself? What makes you think so? Observation. Well, then it wouldn't matter if it's male or female. The bow would just be rudimentary behavior from the parthenogenic mutation. That makes sense, yes. Very interesting. He looks around, quickly assessing the coast. Such organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the whole species. We're looking at conservation efforts here. In his mind, he's already planning a nature reserve and knows a good guy for that. It had mandibles and looked like hair, and it was completely white on the inside. Yes, but also reed-coloured beige and brown, a little green on the outside, unfolding from a single stalk. It still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs. Incredible, he repeats, turning to Vic Mayer. The PR value of this may be exceptional. Carp discovers new species, maybe even discovers Inchelidian phasmid. No, that's too much. That would really help with some of the problems we've been having. Absolutely, this is great, and this does not say vigilante murders to me at all. This is science, news, human interest. He smiles. You know, it's a really good thing you have that photo. Without it, he shakes his head. You're doing good. Here, perhaps only for a moment, but still. I probably shouldn't tell him about the nightclub and the drug lab. I looked into the mystery of the doomed commercial area. I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10. A. Commercial buildings where all the businesses go bankrupt. I looked into it. Why? That's not what we were supposed to do here. There was a fridge we needed and a possible witness. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advertising a local shopkeeper. It was okay. Of course. She turns to Vic Mayer. Call it a community outreach, right? Dodged like a bullet there. For a moment it seemed like you were just wasting time. Ah, okay. So definitely don't mention the church. Because it's really tempting to just do everything. The killer, Lilianovich Joss, we have a strong motive for him. The special consultant raises an eyebrow. A revolutionary martyrdom. Revolutionary martyrdom? The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Kasevich, Lasevich, and the revolutionaries saw this as chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms and derived from their mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lillian. He is Lillian's son, Lilanovich. Custom is overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachal. So it was the soldier of the ICM would be called. So is it... Yes. Thank you, Trent. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. He turns to you. You said you have a motive. Of course, excuse me. I just thought it was noteworthy. He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he'd heard the detail. It must have convinced him. You killed a mercenary in the act of jealousy. Jealousy? I thought this Lilyanovich was an old man, to have been hiding for 50 years, 70-something. Strange psychosexual fixation, aggravated possibly by proximity to the phasmid and its chemicals. He himself gave a political reason, said he'd killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from a gun matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, 2 officers in the scene that Mr. Joss confessed to. It's a clean win. Oh, it's way more than that. Way, way more. Dora! He knows the name! Oh no, no. I did all I could. Every second was a struggle. I've never doubted you could pull yourself together and work. Bouts don't last. He buttons his jacket. I can still smell the booze on the wind. God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? Is there? Like in your bones or something? It will pass in time. So what do you say? Want to take this hot shit back? I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder. He shrugs. So I have to, dude? Anything that ends the trial is okay with me. Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go. Okay, okay. We have the vehicle in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go. Wait. I have a few questions before we go. About who I am. The man looks westward impatiently. Jingling. The phasmid. I need to tell Lena about this ASAP. Who's Lena? She lives at 1113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock, remember? A cryptozoologist. She lives in Jamrock on Tabernacle Road. She told me about the phasmid. Tabernacle. It's on the way over. Near where you live, on Perdition. She looks at Vic Mayer. Fine, if we're going to drop you off anyway. She and her husband were conducting a search for the phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change. She's going to be over the moon. Yeah, because she thought she was great. She thought she'd made it up. It's like, it's really... Okay, who am I? Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Terry. What? Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but before. Yeah, of course I'm a gym teacher. It's one of the options. Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Curon. She looks around. It's getting really cold outside. Maybe we should... That does explain a lot. Like why I'm right. Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair. The collection of found sportswear I've amassed. The fact you don't seem to know what homosexuality is and your moves on the church floor, which honestly were just jump aerobics. It's amazing. Also, this guy, just about everything about this guy. And this guy too. God, even this javelin throwing freak here. Oh God, Contact Mike. Of course, Contact Mike. This is brilliant. Oh God, I've got to let you go. It's gone over. He's been on about Mike again. The detective shakes his head. I hate that guy. Contact Mike is a reprise of the most inspiring basic sporting principle in open competition. A 5,000 to 1 rank outsider. Oh, you don't say. He arches an eyebrow. Does he also vault an impassable gulf of finance and privilege? It's getting cold. She looks around at the dilapidated village. When was this? When was I a gym teacher? In your 20s or late 20s. You really let yourself go since then. He looks you over. You said in Curon. I was a gym teacher there. Yes, you taught gym in Curon. I believe that's the term. Taught Geim in a high school. You were a high school Geim teacher. Smell of sweat and glue. On floorboards. Curon is just east of Jamrock. It was a short walk every morning to the baseball field to the sports building. High school Harry. Your goings on with Kuno, Andre, Asele, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you're so juvie. Hang on, what? The whole thing on the ice? Oh yes, yeah. His smirk suggests barely contained. This is lovely, by the way. I was expecting the case, but I wasn't expecting him to piece together like the little bits and pieces of why he made his decisions. Like why are you helping children? Because he's a teacher and that's what he does. That's lovely. That's genuinely heartwarming. Why did I join the RCM then? Oh yeah, no, I remember the other girl as well. What? The regular, you found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are, all that. You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries. An incredible hope. An ocean full of hope. Oh, okay, I see now. I knew it. I knew no normal person can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher. I like that that's like a special thing as well. He's a gym teacher that explains everything. Why am I like this? It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you're a drunk. You really went with it as well. Really maximised the damage. Was her name Dora? Yeah, Dora England. England! No, different type of thing. I think. No. Not Dora Dubois. Wait, Dora England? Something like that. Half Vassan. Vassa is where beautiful and impossibly blonde people come from. We weren't even married. No one is married anymore. This is Revachol. When was this? God, I don't know. You think 6 years ago? She was way before my time. Oh my. 6 years and you haven't got over it. What the hell is wrong with you? 6 years? Yeah, or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora England really taught you a new one. A big one. Who was she? Incredibly bangable? I mean, what did she do? She was incredibly fuckable. A beautiful bourgeoisie woman. Waifish. Like a Welkin, basically. Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin. Heartbreak Welkin. Pain Welkin. Ah, the Welkins! They're the elves! A minute I was like, what the fuck's a Welkin? From the board game thing. I've only seen the picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from. Look, she turns to face the sea. The sun is going down. It's time to go home. I'm sorry, Judith. We're not. I think she taught in the Académie des Arts. East of the river, way east. Hard to say which came first, the middle class chick or the drink, egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit, not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. There's something harder than a psychiatrist. He pauses to think. A forensic psychiatrist. Go talk to that. In other words, he's had enough of this. Okay, am I a dirty cop working for the La Puta Madre? No. Because the suspects seem to think you're too unstable to work for a mob boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No mob boss would take you. I assure you, I wouldn't consult for a corrupt unit. He would immediately backpedal out of it. I told you it's not that bad. Precinct 41, what kind of station is that? Us, we're the bloody murder station. Haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us. That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just understaffed, and everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price. Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is understaffed station, and the district is too big. Which is why we need to... He tilts his head northwards. Get back to it. We left Torson and McLean to run C-Wing. That's not good. And Price is? Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM. He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force. You're lucky. Somewhere under the curved roof, former silk factory, shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys. Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. Resident medic Nix Gottlieb pours him a coffee. It's silent in the captain's office. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May. Torson and McLean? Mac, the torso Torson, and Chester McLean. She arches an eyebrow. They're not fit to run a wing, believe me. Things are shaky as it is. They're damn iconic, though, Torson and McLean. An iconic duo, I take it. Yeah, not like us. 2 clinically depressed old men. With a contrast here. We're garbage. And the C-Wing is... God, sighs. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake. There's also a lot of outside help involved. Not only me, he smiles, other losers too. He's anything but a loser, but he'd like to be seen as one of... It's cooler that way. Did we recently shoot up a church by any chance? Point to the church. So he remembers that, yes. There may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press. Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear. What happened? Why did we need to go there? Our enemies were hiding in a church. To the best of our information, that's it. Oh, of course, because of the mob daughter, yes. I'm not talking I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up. So I work in the bloody murder station. Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day. Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Revachol. Harburg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us. Press will blow over, he says in a reassuring tone. Jamrock is lucky to have you. It's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it. Thank you again, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now? I think you can recruit him. And, I don't want to pretend I didn't accidentally see that. So I'm telling you straight. Like a pear cider made out of real pear. Well, first I'll go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It'll be good to cover all this. Then I'll have a serious talk with my captain. About what? He pulls up his collar and looks around. The cold spring light reflected in the lens of his glasses. Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready. Infiltrate. Investigate. Distant traffic. A scrap of newspaper drifts by, carried by the wind. You know what? Like, that doesn't seem that big of a surprise. Want to do that at Station 41? Talk to Captain Price. I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering. No, I meant investigate. Come work in Precinct 41. Work? With Price? A crooked smile quivers on his lips. I'm flattered, but I don't know if I... This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss. Flattered? You're flattered, Kitsuragi. We'd be flattered if you even considered. Lieutenant turns very serious all of a sudden. I would have to tie things up with the GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbour. We also have huge caseload, Lieutenant, she says with a smile. Piles that we'll need to get back to. Mountains, even. Hey! I do like the sound of that. He returns her smile. He's really considering it. I'm ready. And... Oh, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Put my logic up, shall we? Good. She looks at you, then Vic Mayer. Fuck it, let's go. The man points down the street. Trant bought his motor carriage. It's a 20-metre drive to Jamrock. Under the evening sky, the great distance turns on its lights. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls inside, fire traps as far as the eye can see. From the main street to Precinct 41, atop the motorway, to Boogie Street, forking into the dark horizon. You close your eyes and hear a dog bark. The dog's bark. A lone woman sits by the factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue Saint-Guillaume, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. An old man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Thorson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Idlestam? No. McMurray? Yes. Dubois? Yes. Really? Nix Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like that's a bad thing. Captain Ptolemy Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in the office and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the people. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minot? Of course. Not Heidelstein, though. Wonderful. The woman looks north. Can we please go back to Jamrock now? And there we go. I thought I'd be quiet for once. I'm going to have to append this to the other episode, which if you're watching this, I've already done, obviously. Thank you for watching. I thought this was amazing. This would definitely be the game of the year of whatever year it came out. Last year, I think it was. Feel free. I don't know. I feel like I should probably say some stuff. Like I like that it leaned into the revolution at the end. The one thing I didn't like, not about the game, just about the outcome, was that like the sort of ultra liberalist thing. It's like, oh, I didn't want that. Like I must have just said too many of those things. Like even Kim said, it doesn't actually make sense of the communism thing. Like those beliefs aren't compatible. So that's a bit of a shame. Would have been nice if he talked about the art cop stuff instead. So, but I must have done the ultra liberalist stuff more. Whatever that says about me. But yeah, I thought this was amazing. Like this is their first game. Bloody hell. I love. Like that is really funny. It's really sad and really funny. Like that. The last twist was he's a gym teacher. Is just an excellent way to just sort of undercut the drama like that. Like, and there's the little hint at the end. There's gonna be a revolution. Like something's happening in that place, and you know, and a nice ending for Kim and everything. I thought it was great. If you watched this, I don't know if anyone has, but if you did, please like consider subscribing and leave a comment. I only ask on last episodes, and even then I feel somewhat tacky. But yeah. Either way, you're now leaving the proximity and Disco Elysium, and my you know, tomorrow or next week, depending on when this lands, I'll be playing some Hades. I mean, I already have done. There's 20 episodes recorded, so maybe you'll be into that. Watch that instead, as well. Not instead. Watch everything on my channel. Watch it several times. I need the I need the engagement, frankly. Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been great. I really enjoyed this.